So this one is due to popular demand. Originally, we didn't plan on talking about the leader class Grimlock and Blackout from Toy Fair New York 2018 because, well, we felt like we kind of discussed what we felt about it as we were leading to the convention when we got leaks from all the Chinese websites and everything. But a lot of our listeners in the comments were like, hey, why didn't you review those? We really want to know what you think about them. There's a lot more that we know now than we knew then when you guys were talking about it then. So I was like, you know what? All right, we'll we'll talk about them. So we pulled everything up. First one that we have, of course, is the Leader Grimlock, and it's clearly a brand new mold. The original Leader Grimlock toy that was used from Age of Extinction was vastly different, a lot more streamlined, the original one. There's a lot more paint on this one too, which is pretty impressive. It's a lot more movie accurate. It's got those dark grays and stuff and the silvers that were used in the movie.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
where the movie Grimlock from Age of Extinction, used those coppers and grays, and it didn't look as nice. He also comes with a different weapon this time around. Before he had a very big, like, mace kind of, I don't know, some kind of mace wand thing. I can't even describe it. This now he has like a more smaller club mace thing, and it looks really cool.
Like a
Uh,
Morning Star kind of thing going on.
yeah. So I mean, this one is a big improvement from the original leader class toy. And in all honesty, even before when Age of Extinction came out, obviously because Grimlock was a big headliner in that movie from an advertising standpoint, he got all the price points. And I felt
Right.
like, the largest being Chomp and Stomp Grimlock, which is like this Fort Max massive one, which was not a good toy to have because it's a gimmick toy, so not a lot of
Mhm.
articulation of it. Right down to the Legends one, which was just a repaint of a Transformers Prime toy. But I found that the best one out of all of them wasn't even the leader class, it was the Voyager. I found the leader class, they put like a ton of chrome on Grimlock's head, and it didn't look very nice. And the leader classes I felt they were a little more gimmicky and simplified for Age of Extinction, where the Voyagers found that nice middle ground.
Mhm.
I know that like the Optimus Prime Voyager was really good in that. The Evasion one, the Hound was a very good one too. Um, Even the Galvatron was not too offensive, I guess is the best way to put it. I didn't hate it.
Uh, a quick question though: did they ever do maybe like a Grimlock where it's like, oh, I could put on maybe a Legends Optimus Prime from like Legends Knight Optimus Prime on
The
top of
only
this
one,
Grimlock
the
that
only
would make
one that did that was the Chomp and Stomp Grimlock came
Mhm.
with a stuck in one position PVC removable figure of Optimus Prime. Pretty much
uh
would bow legs, as if he's sitting on something.
yeah, yeah.
And then they did a subline, which I believe was called Dino Chargers, which were these pullback,
Right.
molded in one piece, kind of like Optimus Prime riding on Grimlock.
Mhm.
I think it's Drift riding on top of Slug. Like they
Mhm.
did all the different dinosaurs and stuff.
Cuz I cuz
We've never had a transforming figure Optimus Prime that could mount on top of a transforming Grimlock figure. I mean, you could totally do it though. I mean, if you took a Legends movie toy and maybe, I don't know, the leader class one, you could figure something out.
Yeah,
But they've
cuz I
never
I
made
thought
that
they would
a
have tried to do something like that in the sense of like, you know how I think it was the third movie where all of a sudden I think it was Optimus Prime comes with the shotgun that was meant for another Megatron toy from an earlier movie. Remember that?
yeah. It was
You
it
know,
was it was he came with a shotgun that was originally intended to be used with Sentinel Prime or something
no, it
like
wasn't.
that.
No, it was the Megatron with the
Yeah, the
shroud.
Megatron toy or something. Yeah, it was something like that. You're right.
And it
And
was like, it was just like you would think they would, oh, let's do this. Let this toy coming out, you could totally make it play with an older toy to do this. Like,
it is true though. I've never really thought about that, but they've never really ever done something that, a transforming Grimlock toy that has a two scale
yeah.
transforming
Like,
Optimus
I
that could
mean, I
work with it.
completely understand that it would kind of be weird because I don't. How much bigger was Grimlock in the movie? Was he
Obvious, well,
that much
yeah,
bigger
that
than Optimus?
that's where
Or
the issue comes in, is
or was
that
he roughly the same size but maybe a head taller?
Grimlock kind of like, it's funny because by the time we got to the last night, like you
Hmm.
had Grimlock spitting up, um, what's it called there, the chief's, whatever the name of the Native American chief was, his patrol car.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, like, I mean, if you use that patrol car as kind of a scale, like if it transformed into Barricade or something, yeah, he's still pretty huge then, you know. Grimlock's still pretty huge, but his scale is kind of all over the place because it's like, okay, if Optimus was on his back, how big would he be?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
I feel like they saved that gimmick for the gimmick toys. Like,
Hmm.
again, Chomp and Stomp Grimlock being one of the biggest movie toys ever made. Actually, it is, actually, now that I look at my display. It's the
Hmm.
biggest movie toy ever made. And I mean, the whole point of that was just to, you know,
Get that poster, get that money shot
yeah, well, that's
in
what it
toy
is. Like
form.
that toy, the way it was packed and the way that it looked, it's just Grimlock, and there's the Optimus PVC on its back, and that PVC Optimus Prime figure could be removed, but it's still stuck in that like sitting position kind of thing. It's kind of like, you ever bought like those old '90s toys of a character riding a motorcycle,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Wolverine or Biker Mice from Mars, but they're stuck in that position. So
Exactly.
you could remove the figure, but it still looks like they're, you
It
know,
looks very weird.
it's like they're on the toilet, but they're like, double fist pumping somebody. I don't know how to describe it, but but again, this Grimlock looks really cool.
Yeah,
The
I'm
paint
digging the
on it is
chrome.
amazing.
Yeah, I'm digging the chrome on him and the nice deep blue
Yeah,
chrome
well,
on
and
him.
and this is like way more accurate, and then the photos, especially that show like the Dino mode, like the robot mode, it really pops because whenever you use grays or blacks, every detail sticks out a lot more. So his robot face is a million times better than what it was with the old Age of Extinction mold. But
Hmm.
on top of that, because they're using just these dark grays and blacks, it really sticks out a lot. But then it's the same thing with the Dino mode. You look at the Dino mode and you go down the back of the dinosaur and you see all these little, bone pieces and wires and gears, and it pops and it sticks out a lot better because of the choice of the colors here. And the choice of the colors is, again, in the attempt of being screen accurate, you end up with a very good color scheme that pops and really brings out the legitimacy of this toy. And I mean,
Yeah.
it's definitely, out of all the Grimlocks thus far, this is the best version of it. And because it's a leader class, probably the best scale too, because he's supposed to be massive, so it works out very well here. Going into the second character that we were asked to discuss about, which was, and same thing, the main reason why we didn't talk about it before was because we kind of touched on it here and there leading up to the convention, because of all the leaks and everything. But next one is Blackout, and Blackout is the same thing where leading up to this toy coming out, essentially, that character was exclusively a Voyager. And then got a Legends class here, a Scout class here, or the Cyberverse scale as it was called back in Dark of the Moon. But his best figure up to that point was just this singular premium scale, premium paint job of the Voyager, and it came with Scorponok, and it was okay. This one, I look at it, and I mean, it clearly is. It's a better molded attempt at that design, um, because again, that old Voyager was really based on those early designs of that character, where
Mm.
at one point Blackout was even considered to be Soundwave. So like
Yeah, it's
he
true.
if you look at the old Voyager Blackout, he kind of has this like speaker behind his head. Where this new one here, obviously they go more for what's movie accurate again. So it looks really nice. I dig that this was the one thing I was worried about, where it wouldn't come with a Scorponok, but it does come with a Scorponok. So I mean, it's
Where are the piston legs thingy here? Is that something from the old toy, or just something they kind
well,
of?
the thing is with the old toys, they had what was called the Mecha Live gimmick,
Ah,
which was
okay.
when you transformed them, a small piece of it would shift with another piece.
Hmm.
And so he had that in his legs in the original one, which were like pistons, and he had that. I want to say also maybe somewhere in the arms. I know the Voyagers usually had them in two different places. where
Right.
you messed with one little thing and something else transformed. So, but the point is that just like the Grimlock, this is definitely your go-to because the Decepticons in the movie continuity were always way larger than the Autobots.
Yeah.
So getting a leader class Blackout is totally necessary, and this works out. I mean, it's about as accurate as it gets. I think some people might argue maybe the blue, this like this dusty kind of blue that we have here, maybe it should be a little darker of a blue because of the scenes that Blackout has appeared in has been more darker scenes and stuff, like the very first scene in the movie, and then later on in the battle for Mission City. But I mean, otherwise it looks great. The Scorponok, I don't know. I'm kind of half on the color scheme they use there because I'm more used to the grays and the browns that were used with the one scene that he was in uh, in the first movie. So
Yeah, I kind of feel the gold is a little bit
yeah,
unnecessary.
that one
Unless that's the coloring of the light, but that's what it looks like, I'm
yeah, it
assuming.
doesn't look as nice. But again, the molding is great on the Blackout. It looks really nice. It's very screen accurate otherwise from a mold standpoint. From a scaling standpoint, he should be a leader class. All the Decepticons, I feel, should have been a leader class at some point. It's the same thing. Like I've mentioned this many times before, but it's like same thing. Bone Crusher from the first movie,
Hmm.
he just got that one deluxe toy and then a Voyager, but that one deluxe toy, and that deluxe toy was just massively proportionately wrong compared to all the other toys that the Decepticons got, because all the other Decepticons at least got a Voyager or higher. And here's
Right.
Blackout with this, and Barricade, but Barricade's supposed to be a deluxe. He's supposed to be the smaller one.
Yeah.
But I mean, Blackout, excuse me, not Blackout, Bone Crusher, at least a Voyager would have done him some justice. So I kind of hope in the future we'll probably get one. And it actually is going to be related to one of our topics we're going to talk about today later, which is another line of movie toys from the other side of the ocean, which I guess we'll talk about